podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine. Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans
for basketball fans.
Finn James,
Will Tremaine,
back again with another episode 27 in the books. A huge episode on the way, may I add. Earlier on, we caught up with Taine Wattie, the latest Shepparton Gators signee, as I think we would call it.
Backcourt partner with Josh. Better go and cook over there, two of them. Get some buckets.
Absolutely. So if you want to skip to that, there will be a time code in the description. If you want to skip to Taine's interview, you're more than welcome to go and listen to that. But as always, we're going to run through some world news before we get to Taine's interview. What's been standing out for you? Super Rugby, I feel like, Will?
Yeah, for me, Super Rugby. Blues got their first win of the season over the Hurricanes. About time. So I'm happy about that. Some other games that happened. The Force lost to the Red, 4-point loss. So I've been impressed by the Force in the last few games.
I've been impressed by the Australian teams in general, which is surprising because they were obviously really bad last year.
I think having lost the Melbourne Rebels has really helped their case.
100%. Great move from Aussie Rugby.
Fiji are struggling a little bit. They're like my second team, kind of. I love seeing Fiji succeed, not just in Super Rugby, but national rugby as well. They're always just so fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
And Moana, they're playing all right as well. A couple of close losses, but they've obviously got the man Adi Savia. And they're playing just down the road in North Harbour, so we'll probably have to get along to one of those games at some point in the season. But yeah, round 3 wrapped up. Looking good. What else has been happening, Finn? NRL. First round, Vegas round. It's currently live, actually. Obviously, by the time this goes up, it'll be done. So right now, the Sharks and the Panthers are playing. I think from what I saw before, it's 24-10 to the Panthers at the moment. Not surprised, reigning premiers, the Panthers are best team in the league. Not surprised they've won there. But the Warriors are over in Vegas. They played the Canberra Raiders in the opening round of the NRL. And, well, I'd say I'm a Warriors fan. I like my rugby league. And, I sat down, watched the game. Really cool experience for them to go over and play in Vegas. Wasn't a great experience watching them get absolutely pummeled 30 points to 8. So that was awesome. Not the greatest start. However, it's a 27-round season. So chances are they'll bounce back. But a pretty new team for the Warriors. And in Vegas, pretty packed out crowd at, what is it, Allegiant Stadium? Yeah.
The NFL pitch.
The Raiders home ground.
Mate, it looked insane.
State of the art.
It looked very cool.
$2 billion or something it cost to build that. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm not the biggest NRL guy, but I might have to get a bit more invested this season.
I'd
all the Warriors fans around me.
I'd highly recommend.
All I heard was a lot of excuses there, though, Finn.
Alrighty.
I've heard a lot of people saying, this is our year, but I heard the
we
same
say that,
thing last
we
year.
say that every
the same
year.
year before that.
We say that every year.
One day it will work out, though.
One day. But, yeah, not a great start. Canberra just simply outplayed the Warriors, to be honest. We just looked really bad.
Was there another game in Vegas as well?
Yeah, the Sharks-Panthers just covered it earlier.
Right.
So, but yeah, and then also, Auckland FC continuing their insane inaugural season. I actually got to go to my first ever Auckland FC game this weekend.
First football game, wasn't it?
Probably my first. I think I went to a football game when I was like 11. So my first football game that's like has a memory that I'm probably going to remember well.
Yeah.
They played Adelaide at Go Media Stadium last night, and quite honestly, this is probably the best game I could have watched.
Yeah.
An 8-goal thriller.
Damn.
Between Auckland FC and Adelaide ended up being a 4-4 draw with 2 goals in stoppage time, which was insane. I sat in general admission next to the supporters group, and Hiroki Sakai had a go-ahead goal with like 5 minutes left, and the whole stadium went berserk. Great experience. Obviously, Adelaide ended up equalising, so on and so forth. But
didn't they have a couple penalties?
They did have 2 penalties.
Scam artists.
One of them was borderline, probably shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, great experience. Definitely need to go to another one. And Auckland FC are still top of the table, like pretty clear. If they win in their inaugural season, that is crazy.
It's looking like they will at this rate. I mean, no other team is really coming close to competing.
They do have playoffs in A-League though, so it's not like the EPL where top of the table wins.
Yeah,
they do have a playoffs, but yeah, that's all that we really have for the world news. Earlier on, like I said, we caught up with Taine Wattie, so enjoy that interview, and we'll be back.
Jump to that now. Yeah.
Another special guest on the Fast Break Podcast for episode 27. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Taine Wattie. Welcome to the pod. Clap it up,
boys. What's
clap
up,
it up,
boys?
clap it up.
Honor and a privilege. Honor and a privilege.
Oh, it's honestly great to have you on, brother. Thanks for coming through.
No worries.
Obviously, I know you're off to Aussie pretty soon on a plane in a few days, so thought we'd get you on before you go. But how's it going? Who are you playing for this season, and are you excited?
Yeah. I'm playing for Shepparton Gators this year. I would have worn some merch, but haven't got the kit yet. So real excited, Real excited to get over there.
Sweet, bro. So like, we'll obviously run back to we'll start at like the start of your basketball career. Obviously, you played in high school and all that. What drew you towards the sport, first of all?
I would say it was just because I was playing rugby. I played rugby my whole life, and I think I just wanted to try out something different. And then I don't know. I've played basketball since I was about 8, 9 years old.
Shit.
Yeah. So I was just mixing rugby there and a few other sports that I played. Yeah.
A natural athlete, some could say.
So was rugby your first sport?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I started playing rugby when I was like 4 years old or something.
And when did you like decide, basketball's the sport that I want to really pursue?
I didn't really. It wasn't until after high school, I reckon.
Oh,
after high school, because I was through the system through Junior Warriors coming out of high school. Coming out of high school. Yeah, only did pre-season and that knees couldn't handle it, and then I decided basketball's probably the way to go. Yeah, in terms of passion anyway. Like my passion. True. Yeah, my passion was rugby growing up. Yeah, and then it just slowly went to basketball. Yeah.
Oh, how come? What was the switch? Just in mindset, like the enjoyment of actually playing the sport, or? Yeah,
I think I don't know. I just lost the excitement for rugby, and then I needed to find something else to fill that void, kind of thing. And that's how.
Mate. Yeah. So going through high school, would you say it was your second sport?
Yeah, I would say so. Going through high school, yeah.
Yeah, and you still played at like a premier level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're at Rosmini.
Yeah, played first at the and Prems.
And you played for you were in rep teams as well, eh?
Yeah. Went through. I started at Coast, so Coast under 15s. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Coast under 15s.
Bro.
And then switched over to Harbour and under 17s. Yeah.
Sweet.
Bottom age. Yeah.
Yeah, and you sport athlete, bro.
So once you left high school, you sort of wanted to take that basketball as a more seriously.
Yeah.
When was the first time you realized, man, I can really make this into something like professionally?
Honestly, until I got my first gig at Geraldton, that was probably the first time I was like, okay, maybe I can crack it at this semi-pro level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had something. Yeah, there was just something when I went over to Geraldton. After that, I was just like, I want to do this.
Mate.
I want to pursue this.
Because how did they scout you in the end?
So I knew Braden Inger, who used to play there.
Yes.
So he used to play there, and then he got in contact with the coach.
It's always like that.
Yeah. So it's basketball's real
clicky.
It's all about who you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real political.
Would you say there's like a kind of player that you like model your game after, or like you can relate it to? You think?
Damn.
Or you have like your own style? Would you say?
Nah.
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Probably like a mid-range specialist, like a Devin Booker or
a short Devin Booker.
Yeah, short Devin Booker.
We're gonna bring that up though.
Oh my god.
Okay,
yes,
what is it?
So me and Will were doing some research before you coming on. Obviously, I've known you for a very long time, but I was just curious. Taine Wattie Google search. I found the Eurobasket. They have this thing called Australia Basket where it's like has your stats and stuff. So they had your Townsville season on there. In your bio, it said 6'3" guard, and I was like, there is absolutely no chance Taine is 6'3" because you
have to put up the height though. You have to put it up.
Are you even 6'1"?
Yeah, I'm 6'1". 6'1" with no shoes. Yeah, 6'1" with no shoes.
Okay.
6'2" with shoes on.
Okay, so we'll add another inch. 6'3", but
I don't know who did that though. Bro, I actually don't know who did that.
And it was like I was like, there is no way you're 6'3".
They must have got me at a good angle.
Yeah, and it was like your last year you played for was Townsville and everything. Because obviously after Geraldton, that was what year was that?
That was 2021. Yeah.
And then Townsville was the year after.
Yeah.
How would you compare those two experiences? Were they very similar?
Nah, they're actually quite different because Geraldton's in such a small area. It's like 4.5 hours north of Perth. So it's like a real small, real small town, like probably like 10,000 people that live there.
Wow.
So it's quite, it's quite small. Quite everyone knew each other.
Yeah.
Quite community based. And then Townsville, bro, it's not as big as people think it is. It's quite small, but I don't know. I just had a better experience in Townsville. Maybe it was the heat. Maybe it was the
actual temperature or the actual team.
I don't know. Townsville. I don't know. Townsville to me is like a second home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the people there. Yeah. The people there were so good. So nice.
Any ideas of potentially going back there in the future, or?
Yeah. 100%. I actually wanted to live there after the season, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. But then I got a job offer to come back here as a youth worker. So then,
That's buzzy you say that about Townsville being a second home to you, because we had Dylan and Josh on recently, and they said the exact same thing about Shep. Do you think that's pretty common? Like, a lot of players will go to Aussie and just get involved in the community and call it a second home?
Yeah, for sure. I think when you enjoy your experience, you just, I don't know, it just makes it like a second home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, just the people there were like amazing, bro.
Sweet.
What are some of like your favourite memories in those like cities, in Geraldton and Townsville?
Geraldton?
Like, basketball or not basketball, just anything in those cities?
Geraldton, probably the crowd that you get.
Really?
Yeah, because it's such a small town.
Yeah,
so everyone packs it out. Even though we didn't have the greatest season, we still had fans every week, and we still had like. I think the best part about it is like the kids coming up to you after the game in that day, like asking for photos and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I remember. I feel like you reposted. I don't know if this was you in Townsville or Geraldton, but I feel like someone made a TikTok edit about you or something at one point, bro, that you reposted. I swear to God, like they loved you, eh?
Yeah.
Like, and do they really enjoy, like, the fans in particular, like the people that are coming in that aren't locals? I feel like they really get involved with you guys. They love having you there.
They love it, bro. They actually love it. They literally they bring you in and they help you out whenever they can. Whenever you need a hand, could be, I don't know, gas or I don't know.
Yo.
Yeah. Just I don't know, just little things like that.
Yeah.
That's sick. When did you like start realizing that you could start playing at the next level? Obviously, you were doing rugby league with the Warriors, and then you like started to go down the basketball route. But was there like a moment where you realized, I'm gonna do this like professionally?
I think just before I went to Geraldton. Yeah. When I had a real good there's this they do moldy nets. Have you heard of it? Yeah, they do moldy nets, and I had a real good tournament there. I sent my tape away, and I thought I had a pretty good feeling about wanting to take it to the next level. Yeah.
Did you have quite a few people like knocking on your door to try and pick you up, or was it just Geraldton?
Nah, it was just Geraldton. It was just from sending my highlight mix to Braden, and then Braden sending it off to the coach, because the coach was asking Braden for players in NZ. Yeah, and then Braden obviously put a good word in for me.
Sweet as. See, other than playing Geraldton, Townsville, have you played for any other like semi-pro teams? I think did you ever stint over here maybe with the Huskies back then?
Yeah, but I was only in the development squad. Yeah. So I didn't get to touch the floor or anything, but it was still cool to train with like professional players.
Yeah.
We had great coaches as well. So there was like it was KB. Rest in peace to KB. Yeah.
And am I right that you had a stint playing 3-on-3 as well?
Yep.
Tuatara?
Yeah. So I did that. When was that? 2023. End of 2023. Down at Invercargill, I got the late call up.
Yeah, they had an injury.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan got injured, and then Ruben pretty much just messaged me saying, "Oh, can you get down here? Get on the next flight." Yeah. And I had to I was freaking out because I had to call my boss. Yeah, so I was like, would it be all good if I go and play basketball? Nah. He was like, it's a mean opportunity, go, which is cool, yeah.
Yeah, because you also played in that the EXE as well, right?
Yep.
And you went over, what was it, Japan?
Yeah, been over to Japan twice now.
That's crazy.
Free trip too.
That's awesome.
Free trip, yeah, you win the comp and you get a free trip.
Business class?
Nah, I wish. Imagine that, bro.
Yeah. Holy. So 3-on-3 is obviously something that are you quite passionate about it, would you say?
I'd still prefer 5s.
Okay.
But 3s, I definitely think 3s is getting there.
Yeah, I was going to lead into my next question. Would you ever consider transitioning completely to 3-on-3? Because I know there's quite a bit of money in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ty Wynyard's making absolute coin playing in China.
Yeah.
Is it something you've ever considered doing?
Definitely. Because it's pretty much a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go overseas and you play like how Ty Wynyard was playing in that Chinese comp, it's pretty much a full-time job, and it's real good money, eh?
Yeah.
There's real good coin in it now.
Got the big 3 as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
3.
imagine.
Go cook some
Ice Cube, bro.
They got weird rules though, eh?
Yeah, it's completely different, because obviously
Like
EXE and everything, it's all their own rules, and obviously EXE's and 3-on-3 is just FIBA.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, do you ever play any other basketball through university and stuff? I know you had a little stint at AUT.
Yeah, so I played 1 year of AUT Nets. I think the other one got cancelled due to COVID.
Oh,
but yeah, played 1 Nets down in Christchurch. I think we ended up coming 5th maybe.
Not bad. Better than what we played.
Yeah. Why? Where'd you guys come?
At 3-on-3 or
Nah,
fives
fives.
we came fourth, so it wasn't
Okay, that's
that
not
bad.
bad.
We were all hurt though, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
But you just had a stacked team, eh?
it was alright. Like Kooiman was in the team and he was going crazy, and then Jaden Bouch was there as well, and he got hurt. I was hurt. Not that I was like a massive piece of the team. Like Ryan Lamatia was there as well. But we had a really good team the year before in 2021 that got cancelled for COVID as well.
Oh, is that when you had your stacked team?
Like I reckon we could have won it.
What was that? The Ledger Brothers in that or no?
Nah. It was the Ledger Brothers was like the last couple of years. This was before we had Connor Woodbridge was still playing. Zach McKenzie was there as well. Kooiman, Bouch, myself. There's a few other players as well. It was a very very good team. And unfortunately, got cancelled due to COVID. I reckon we had a real good shot. I'm not gonna lie. So it's what it is.
I'm just happy when Lincoln don't win, eh?
Oh my god, bunch of robots, bro. That's what I like to call them, the Lincoln robots. Me and Adam, we would go down for like 3-on-3 Nats and Palmy a few years ago, and we had like the earliest game of the round. It might have been like 8:30, 9 a.m. where we pulled up at 8:30, and these guys were already like putting a sweat in, warming up. For a 10-minute 3-on-3 game, I reckon they'd been there since 8 a.m. for like an hour warm up for 3-on-3 against us.
That's crazy.
And I don't even want to say what the score was because it was almost, it could have been done for murder.
Oh no!
Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Speaking of Kooiman and like Wilkie, who have previously come on the podcast, did those guys like help play a role in like putting you in contact with Shepparton? Obviously, where you're playing this upcoming season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Kooiman put in a good word for me. I had a couple talks with the coaches and stuff like that beforehand. But yeah, Kooiman was definitely the one that, and he was he wanted me to come over. So.
And have you guys like been like linking up before you've both moved to Australia in terms of like getting your shots up together and stuff? Obviously, playing next to each other this coming season. So that should be good.
Yeah, no, we worked out as much as we could. I'm just coming off an ankle injury, so I'm about 70-80% at the moment. So
you're still getting
it's still getting there, bro.
You're still hooping though.
Yeah,
I see you at 33.
Yeah.
Speaking of 33, obviously that's been around for a while now. And I've seen you there since the day that place opened. I've seen you hooping there.
Yeah.
How important has Hoop 33 been in the development of you as a player? Would you reckon?
Bro, so important. Literally ever since it's open, I've been in there probably 5 times a week.
Crazy.
Yeah, bro. It's so, and just like the coaches there have always been really good. Individuals, group workouts, scrimmages even. Scrimmages help you a lot. Working on your in-game stuff. And even just in the weights room as well, bro.
Yeah.
It's so convenient.
Nice.
It's so convenient having a gym there and then a court right next to it.
It's a great weight room.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a real good weight room, and then you can go upstairs as well.
Yeah, they got the new area, right?
Yeah, they've got another area up there as well.
Shout out 33, bro.
Shout out 33, bro.
Honestly, if that wasn't there as well, I'd be even more washed than I already am.
Yeah. Actually, 33. Zach, you're the man.
Yeah, he's done wonders,
Yeah.
honestly. And like that's been such a close-knit community as well with the Hoop 33, right?
100%.
Like even just outside of hoops.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like everyone is so close-knit community. Like would you say Hoop 33 like outside of basketball, like you've grown a passion just be around those people, so like maybe outside of hoops, you want to go and play at Hoop 33 because your boys are going to be there?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's such a community, like, even like you said, outside of basketball, like, we'll go hang out, go to the pub or whatever it is, and just hang out, like, and that's all because we met at Hoop 33. Literally, and just scrimmaging and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, most of you boys now that I'm cool with, the only reason I'm friends with you guys is because of Hoop 33.
Yeah.
Like, I knew most of the boys from there before, but ever since we started going to the scrimmages, I remember there was one summer, and we played like 3 or 4 days a week, bro, and it was insane. Like, it would be the Monday night, and the organised ones on Tuesdays, Thursday, and then we'd find another day to do it, man. Yeah. It was so good. And like everyone became so close, man. We'd all hang out outside of hoops as well.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, eh?
That's so important.
Having a good relationship with like your boys and teammates as well. Obviously you and Shep, I know there's again a really close-knit community. Kooiman's talked about it, Wilkie's talked about it. I feel like it's very important to build like that chemistry with your teammates.
100%. So good.
What are like some like, do you see yourself doing basketball for a long time? And like, what are some of your big goals, or maybe even just some short-term goals that you have in your basketball career?
Yeah, nah. Just for now, I think I'm just taking it season by season. Like, if I have a good season after the season, then I might try to look for another contract, whether it's at Shepparton or elsewhere.
Yeah.
But in terms of short-term goals, honestly, probably just playing playing a big role in the team, whether it be I don't know, defending the best player, whether it be taking the shots or rebounding, whatever it is. That's kind of my goal, is to fit in wherever they need me, play a big role, or play a decent role, and then I think short term goals.
Yeah, sweet. Would you say there's a big difference between Australian basketball to New Zealand?
Yeah. I'd say I always tell people this whenever someone asks me that question. I always say the differences are probably Australia are a little bit more like structured and fundamental.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think we're more free flowing here.
Yeah.
But I think that's the biggest comparison. I reckon.
Would you ever consider playing in the Cells NBL?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So that could be potentially a next goal for you. If you come back
that could be another goal. Yeah.
Like, would you prefer to play in your hometown? Or do you kind of like getting out of Auckland?
Nah, I'd prefer to play in my hometown.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Or the Indian Panthers.
Hey, new team on the block though.
New team on the block.
New team on the block.
I seen they're not playing Blitz though.
Nah, they got a visa issue or something.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they are. Like, I think the league is growing. I think the Cells NBL is going places for sure. Like, even just getting a new team like the Indian Panthers in is crazy. Obviously, Aussie has so many leagues. NBL 1 is massive.
Yeah.
And the quality of basketball, I'd say, I mean, I've heard it from Dylan, and I've talked to other people as well, slightly below Cells NBL. So, I mean, for them to get other teams in, that's on ESPN.
ESPN, that's what I was going to say. That's huge.
Crazy.
That's
and
huge.
the other players coming in is ridiculous. Like, there's a former Clipper playing on the Nelson Giants this year.
Is there?
Yeah, he played like 3 games on the Clippers. But he was on the Clippers. And he's playing for the Nelson Giants.
He still touched the floor on the NBA court.
He's played in the NBA.
Huge.
Like, it's actually insane.
Yeah.
And the league's just going to continue to grow. And the more teams that come in, the better, and the more opportunities that someone like you might have.
Yeah.
What's the rules with the Indian Panthers team? Does it have to be like mostly Indian players, or?
I did look into that. So I think they're bringing their own players over, but they have to like sign a few Kiwis. But I'm not actually too sure. Like, I have no idea. It's a crazy decision to make. Completely left field, bringing an Indian team all the way over.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's buzzy.
And they're based out of Bruce Pond?
Out in Tuckanini in Auckland. So I mean, great stadium.
Yeah,
it's a really
good stadium.
3 teams in Auckland. It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
games to go to.
3 teams.
You boys will have to get down and watch a few games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, bro.
Cells NBL media accreditation. Hook us up. Do you have any fond memories? Like, what are your fondest memories that you have? Maybe playing the game, or like a really good game that you have. Is there something that really sticks out in your mind?
Oh, probably winning Prems back in when I was year 13. That was probably a huge.
Oh, true.
Yeah, that was probably a huge. We beat Rangi in the final for Prems to win Auckland champs.
Yeah,
that was a pretty big game. Trying to think of other games. Townsville. There was a few Townsville games where
you went
those
off.
those really stuck out. I would say
What is your career high?
In what, semi-pro?
Semi-pro. Or school.
Like, school's probably like maybe 30, like big 30s, 40s. Maybe.
Solid.
Yeah.
I could never touch that. Not in my life.
I want to ask about the number real quick.
Yeah.
Is that the number you always wear, or is there like a special meaning to it, or you just choose a random number when you join a new team?
I just thought 0 was cool. I should have gone 40 because 40 is my number.
Yeah.
Yes, why is 40 your number though? And I feel like everyone behind the camera might know this, but for people that don't, why is 40 your number?
Because I come from Glenfield, we call it G40. So yeah, it has a special place in my heart, you know.
Absolutely. Wow. Before we wrap up and let you go, enjoy your Sunday afternoon. Any shout outs to anybody that's helped you along the way that you'd love to just show some love to before you let you go?
Yeah. So biggest shout out probably be my mum. Raised me by herself, 2 kids, amazing woman. Super grateful for her. In terms of coaches and parents and stuff like that, I think all my coaches along the way have been quite crucial for my career. But I think Kenny Stone was huge actually for my development, and that was under 17s I think for Harbour.
Yeah,
he was huge. And who else? No, I think that's. And shout out my missus because she'll be mad if I don't say that.
And just all the boys, eh?
Yeah, and all the boys. Shout out Cabbage Crew as well. Shout out the boys.
Cabbage Crew?
Yeah, Cabbage Crew. That's the boys. That's the boys, bro. They know.
What a name, Cabbage Crew. But anyway, Taine, man, loved you coming through, bro. I appreciate it as always, and we've got to catch up.
Yeah, 100%.
After you get back.
100%.
Hoping you all the best in Shep. You're going to absolutely kill it. Obviously, man, there's been a number of people that have played there now. I mean, Tinashe, Dill, Kooiman, now you.
Yeah.
4 boys from the North Shore, all representing at Shep.
And Hoop 33 boys
and
too.
all Hoop 33
the
boys.
legacy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to smash it, and yeah, appreciate you coming
I
on.
appreciate you guys for having me as well.
Appreciate your time, bro.
Yeah.
It was awesome catching up with Taine and hearing about his story, you know, being from a rugby player, almost in the Warriors, and then started playing basketball, and now he's a professional, or semi-pro level, going to play in Shep, along with Kooiman, I think is awesome. Obviously, Wilkie's been there as well, so we've got a little Shep sort of family growing on the Fast Break podcast, some could say, but it was awesome to have him on and just learn about him, his story, and we'll be sure to catch up with him probably when he comes back.
100%. Appreciate him coming on, and yeah, we'll be following along with his season in Shepparton. Him and Josh getting buckets will be fun to keep an eye on. But taking our eyes back to the NBL, what's been happening, Finn? Playoffs time. 2 matchups, the semi-finals. You got Illawarra, Southeast Melbourne, and Melbourne versus Perth. 2 absolute great series. Both series have played their first 2 games now. What's been happening?
So, honestly, it couldn't be more entertaining in my opinion, Will. So, obviously going into the playoffs, I wanted Adelaide to be there.
Yeah.
They're not there. However, it doesn't really matter because I've been watching a fair amount of these games. There's been 4 games, 1 apiece in each series, which is exactly what you want to see. There's going to be a win or go home game in both series, which is awesome. You love to see that in basketball.
That's what you want. All the home teams have won as well. So, home court advantage, proving that it's a big thing.
Absolutely. And the first game of the finals was between, I think it was Illawarra and Southeast Melbourne. That must have been on Thursday.
Yep.
A really, really good showing. It was a 101-94 win for Illawarra in Illawarra. You and I both kind of expected this, though, from Illawarra, the top team in the league, facing Southeast Melbourne. I wasn't surprised that they got the win at home.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, same. I thought they were going to win the series in 2. I was wrong about that, but definitely thought they'd get the upper hand in that first game at home in Illawarra. And Trey Kell, he had a big one in this. 24 points, 10 rebounds. Tyler Harvey also had 24. So those backcourt teammates who are both top 10 players in this league, in my opinion, combining for 48. And that's what you need to get over the line against Southeast Melbourne, who have proved that they've just consistently been getting better as the season's gone on. And they're actually my new team that I'm rooting for to win this whole thing, because who knows? But we might be doing some flashbacks to when I said Southeast Melbourne are a dark horse at some point.
You did say that. It was really early on as well. I think it might have been like episode 2 or 3 when we were doing our season predictions, and you were really high on Southeast Melbourne. I mean, to be fair,
it was looking bad.
I was quite high on them heading into NBL.
Yeah.
You know, Derek Walton returns after a really good stint at Sydney a few years back. Nathan Sobey off a really good year with Brisbane. Matt Hurt, didn't really know much about him. I think he played for Duke. So he's coming in as well. I was really high on them. Obviously with that 0-5 start, I think it might have been, maybe even worse. Sacked their old coach, brought in Josh King.
Yeah.
Did essentially what Justin Tatum did last season with Illawarra, completely turned their season around and has gotten them into, well, a tied-up semi-final matchup against the number 1 team in the league.
Yeah, Matt Hurt's just been looking insane this season. I actually saw a report that he's one of the... I forgot who the other 2 players were, but there were 3 NBL players that NBA teams were seriously eyeing up, and Matt Hurt was one of them, which I think is very well deserved. Speaking of, we'll quickly mention, Taron Armstrong from the Cairns Taipans. He's been picked up on a 2-way deal with the Golden State Warriors. So congrats to him. That's massive. He's obviously a great player, not like top-level NBL player, but he's got the age, he's got the youth.
He's
so
young.
they see potential in him. Why wouldn't you? Kid's phenomenal, so... Best of luck to him.
I think that we should actually maybe dive into this a little bit deeper, because obviously Cairns really struggled this year.
Yeah.
However, Taron Armstrong's jump from last season to this season was honestly exponential.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought he could have been up for Most Improved Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He ended the season off with a 26-point triple-double in their last game. He proved that he was a bucket. Great shooter, great around the room, 6'5" point guard. It's a no-brainer for the Warriors to pick this guy up.
100%.
You might as well. He's 23, he's young, he's raw, he's got the talent, he's got the athleticism. He's showing that he can keep up with these good guys. To put him on a 2-way deal for the rest of the season for the Warriors, why would you not do it?
I think his game molds well into the NBA as well. And just yet another young Australian prospect who could potentially be making waves in the biggest league in the world. Australian basketball, like we mentioned last week, is really on a rise.
Oh, it's absolutely booming. Sorry for my pun. But nah, Aussie basketball is on the rise. I mean, you look at Dash Daniels. He's obviously playing for Melbourne next year as the next star. He's a projected top, I think 5 or 6 pick.
Yeah, they say he has the same defensive potential as his brother Dyson, but he's just better offensively. So
I mean, look what Dyson Daniels has been doing this year. So Aussie basketball, I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know what they're feeding their kids, but damn, they are absolutely hooping at the moment. And yeah, hugely deserved from Tyron Armstrong. Absolutely stoked for him. Who knows whether he stays around next year, but he has this opportunity for the rest of the year to try and prove himself in the G League. And obviously maybe he might get some time on the Warriors in the back end of the season. You never know. Maybe we won't see him back in a Ken's Taipans uniform next year.
No, maybe not. Hopefully not. All the best to him.
Yeah.
His hopes in the NBA going forwards. But back to the Southeast Melbourne Illawarra series.
Oh, so
like
good.
we said, Game 1, Illawarra got the upper hand. Game 2, went down to Melbourne. At home, they flipped the score. Exact same score in this one. 101-94, but Southeast Melbourne got the job done, led by Nathan Sobey, 25 points and 7 boards. And like we just mentioned, Matt Hurt with 30 points as well. So those two really led the way for Southeast Melbourne. Also, Angus Glover, 16 off the bench. So
very vital.
That
piece.
helped out.
Very vital. And I feel like the reason the Illawarra Hawks really struggled, we mentioned it, Game 1, Trey Cal, Tyler Harvey, the backcourt duo who, in my opinion, has been one of the best backcourt duos in the league this season.
Yeah.
Struggled exponentially. 4 for 23 combined from the field. Really, really struggled. The only bright spot from Illawarra was Will Hickey, or Davo Hickey, the latest Auckland Tuatara signing, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that's been announced. You heard it here first. Will Hickey, 19 off the bench, but let's just highlight Matt Hurt, 30 points. What a season this man has had in his first ever time in Australia. Yeah. Really showing on the biggest stage in the finals what he's capable of.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think he'll need to have another massive outing like this in Game 3 for Southeast Melbourne to have a chance. But, I mean, you look at that final score, 101-94, and you look at how bad Tyler Harvey and Trey Kell were. I think they just make a few more of those buckets, which is highly likely in this Game 3. I think Illawarra are going to get the job done in this one. As much as I'd love to see Southeast Melbourne prove my early season thoughts right, I think Illawarra are going to go home and get the job done.
You always want to see the underdog do well, right?
Yeah.
The 4th seed going into this, you always want to see them try and upset.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, I'm sort of on the same boat as you. I don't see how Illawarra could drop another game at home.
Then Trey Kell and Tyler Harvey are not going to combine for 4 for 23
No
in
way.
Game 3. I'll say that right now. So
on their own court, the rims they're used to, in front of their home fans, I don't see it happening. The best team in the league all season by far. It was a no-brainer. I was surprised. I mean, before going into the series, you were convinced it was going to be a 2-0 sweep.
I was. Yeah, I thought they'd get the job done and then swiftly end Southeast Melbourne down in Melbourne. But Melbourne are staying alive in this one, and Game 3s are always more entertaining than a quick 2-game sweep. So I'm happy.
Look, Game 3 can go either way, I feel like, though. Both games have been very close. 7-point wins for both teams.
Yeah.
Literally the exact same score. If Nate Sobey and Matt Hurt sort of do what they did tonight, next time they play in Illawarra, this could be a very close game, especially if Trey Cal and Tyler Harvey are firing on all cylinders. And you've got Nate Sobey, Matt Hurt, maybe Derek Walton has a big game.
Due for one.
He is definitely due for one as well. And you have a player like Angus Glover, who I think is one of the biggest impact players in this league. Got kind of shafted by Sydney, in my opinion. He was a massive part of their championship stretch.
Yeah.
Chase Buford over there as well. Last season on Sydney, sat on the bench the whole year, which I thought was insane. Him getting out and going to Southeast Melbourne has been perfect for his career. He's been a massive part of this team. If he scores again, like 16 points off the bench is exactly what you want, a great 3-point shooter. I think Southeast Melbourne, like I said, this Game 3 can go either way, Will.
Yeah, it could do. Like, we're leaning Illawarra, but Southeast Melbourne could get the job done. And a good bench is very important. Like Ian Clark in the Melbourne series, which we'll get into. It's important to have really good bench outings to win a game. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see in Game 3. But moving over to Melbourne versus Perth then.
Damn.
Game 1, what happened in this one?
Chris Golding has never failed to amaze me as a basketball player. As a 3-point shooter, this man is unconscious. I still don't get it. He's pretty old now, getting up there in his age. Has absolutely lit up this league for a number of years now. And Game 1, the main stage, in Melbourne, John Cain Arena, he did exactly that. 41 points, 10 threes. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There was a time in the game he was struggling quite a bit throughout the first half.
It was like 1 for 8 from 3.
Something like that.
And then made like 9 straight.
I think
Crazy.
so. I think so. But there was a time in the game where I think he got a technical foul, ran into the locker room, probably threw some punch at the wall or something, comes out, completely locked in, and every time this man caught the ball off a screen, he was shooting it. Didn't matter. And every time the ball left his hand, it looked like it was going in, and it did.
Yeah.
It's insane what he's done. 41 points in a playoff game in this league is ridiculous.
Yeah. And like we said, Ian Clark, 22 off the bench as well. Massive impact
Huge.
player. Perth's big three, Cotton, Doolittle, Pinder, they combined for 68. So not a bad outing by the three of them, all around that 24-point margin. Couldn't get the job done, though. Chris Golding closed this one out for Melbourne, moving to Perth for Game 2, which Perth won.
Yeah.
So 1-1, another series, going to Game 3. Perth got the upper hand in this one, 96-89. Who were the standouts in this one, Finn?
Dylan Windler. Dylan Windler. Somebody that we've talked about quite a bit on the podcast since the season started. Had a really good stint in the G League last year. In my opinion, been a pretty underwhelming season for what I thought he was going to be a massive part of this Perth team. And all fairness to him, he's absolutely popped off in Game 2. But
Yeah.
I'd say for this season, you probably agree with me, hasn't had the biggest impact than what I thought he would have.
No, he's been really disappointing, to put it lightly. I mean, I thought this guy was going to come in and be like the second option next to Bryce Cotton, and he really hasn't, but he's shown that he has that experience to be able to step up. In Game 2, a massive game, win or go home, at home in Perth, 27, 6 for 7 from 3. That's exactly what you need. A little Chris Golding-esque game. Not to the same extent, but still, that's what won them this game, because Bryce, he struggled a bit in this one. 18 points.
I'm not surprised he's struggling as well. Guess who's guarding him this series?
Shea
Ely. We talked about this on the last podcast.
Matching his minutes.
Exactly, matching his minutes. Shea Ely's causing a lot of trouble for Bryce in this series. And even in Game 1, although Bryce did have a pretty decent game, Shea Ely once again really disrupting him. And this is exactly what I thought was going to happen. Game 3, if Shea can shut down Bryce, and I don't think Windler can have another 6 or 7 shooting game.
Well, this goes back to what you and Dylan have said in previous episodes, actually, about needing other guys to step up for Perth, for them to get the job done. Like Bryce, he could get locked up by Shea Ely, like we saw last night. And you're going to need the guys around him, Doolittle, Pinder, Dylan Windler, to all step up and have big games for Perth to come away with the win in this series.
Yeah, and if you circle back to Game 1, I was heavily invested. Christian Doolittle played a massive part in it being a relatively close game until Chris Golding took over. Christian Doolittle was very aggressive. Bryce Cotton was getting face guarded by Shea majority of the game. Christian Doolittle took it upon himself, had a really good outing.
Yeah.
So this is what we talked about. Everyone needs to step up. And Dylan Windler, 27, exactly what you need. And this was a really entertaining game. A come-from-behind win for Perth as well. I thought Melbourne had this. They were up near 20 points most of the first half. Yeah. Going to third quarter, squashing that lead, and then eventually Perth, just too much. Dylan Windler just hit some big shots down the stretch. And, yeah, Game 3 in Melbourne, man.
Back to Melbourne.
Good.
And
it's going to be good.
Despite the fact that Melbourne have looked like the better team for the majority of this series, I'm going to say it now, I think Bryce Cotton, 37 piece in Game 3 to send Melbourne home. 37. You heard it here first.
You can never write them off. They have the best player in the league, the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
37.
Write it down. Chuck a cheeky couple bucks on. Nah, don't do that. Don't do
R18,
that.
bet responsibly.
Yeah. And do not take my advice.
Anyway, look, NBL. This is the nitty gritty part of the season that we have been waiting for, and it's not disappointing. Obviously, it's upsetting not seeing the Breakers here. We would have loved that. It would have been insane seeing the Breakers Spark Arena trying to make the final. However, it's not disappointing. This is really good basketball. This is what we love to see, so I'm not complaining at all.
100%. Moving on, though. 2 games left in the NBL series, but some other basketball that's still going on around the world. The NBA.
Oh, is that still going?
Still going.
Oh.
And we're actually getting close to the end. To the playoffs, I should say. I mean, it's gone so fast.
How have they already played 60-something games?
It's like 60, 61, 62 games for most teams, I think. It's insane. So, like, 20 games away from the playoffs, the brackets are starting to look a little bit more set, and what teams are aiming for. Like, my Blazers, for example, I think we have a shot at that play-in. It's going to be tough. But, yeah, it's starting to look like we know which teams are going to be finishing top with home court advantage. Anything stand out to you, Finn, that's happened in the last week in basketball? I know there's one specific thing that we should probably talk about.
Yeah. Steph Curry, well, I don't know if Will does. I owe you an apology. We said something
Leave me out of this.
a little bit egregious, saying you didn't deserve to be in the All-Star game, but you must have watched. We must have grinded some gears. 56 points, 12 three-pointers against the Magic. Paolo had 41. Didn't really matter. Steph Curry stole the night. I'm really sorry, Curry. Like, I really am. Unconscious. Will, any thoughts on this?
Why do you just fold like that, bro?
Oh.
Come on, bro. Double down. Steph Curry is still... I don't care that he had a 56-point game with 12 threes. Boo-hoo. We've seen that happen from heaps of players before. He simply didn't deserve to be an All-Star. At the point that he was in the season, he didn't deserve to be an All-Star. Maybe if he'd had this 56-point game before the All-Star break, 100% give it to him. But the All-Star break is for the best players in the first half of the season, and he was not one of the best 24 players that get selected for the first half of the season. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. His team wasn't good. He was averaging like 22, 23 a game at that point. It's probably gone up to like 24, 25 now after this outing. And he has looked phenomenal. I'll give him that. The last 10 games, he's averaging like 31 a game, looking like OG prime Steph. But I'm not taking back the truth that he did not deserve an All-Star spot over some other players that could have been there instead. Like your guy, Norman Powell.
Yeah, well. Speaking of the Warriors, though, I think they're like 7-1.
Yeah.
Maybe 7. I think they lost today.
They did.
Since getting Jimmy Butler. Impressive.
Yeah. But Jimmy's not even been looking that phenomenal. He had like a 2-point outing the other day. So.
It's just the pace, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. The threat, the defense.
But yeah, it's Curry, I'm sorry. Will's clearly not. Moving on. Jason Tatum, waving goodbye, up 25-3 on the Cavs. I think did they blow the lead?
They did.
Yeah,
They blew the lead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell had 41 points in that one. Yeah. Closed them out.
Jason
Shame.
Tatum, that's very unfortunate.
And Tatum wonders why no one likes him.
Oh. Nah, I
Maybe
feel like
that's
he's
why.
relatively liked in the league.
I think he's disliked. Like, he's always blabbering on about how he doesn't feel like he gets enough respect. Have you been seeing that?
They're calling him the anomaly now. It's kind of
bro.
interesting.
You don't have a nickname. Just accept the fact that no nickname's going to suit
Nah,
you. Okay.
Duke of Boston, I'm a fan of, is his nickname. I kind of like that. But yeah, Celtics blow a lead. The Cavs are ridiculous, by the way. Like, they're going to be the first seed in the East. They're making Ty Jerome look really damn good. But don't get me wrong, Ty Jerome is in the perfect situation, but the team goes so deep.
And the starters have only been averaging like 30, 31 minutes a game.
I know,
this
it's
season.
insane. They go so deep.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter's coming off the bench now, I'm pretty sure.
It's about time we start talking about the Cavs as like legitimate
Contenders.
championship contenders, not just finals. Like, they could win this whole thing.
Crazy.
It's not unrealistic to say with 4 All-Stars on the team plus
Four?
DeAndre
Allen.
Hunter.
Jared Allen almost. 3.
Yeah.
Jared
3
Allen
this
could've-
year, but
yeah.
his previous All-Star.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy team. They're on a ridiculous stretch and for a great win percentage at the end of the year. I think they're going to cause a lot of problems in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think look out for the Cavs. It's going to be interesting to see how they show up in the playoffs. I mean, you got teams like the Bucks and the Knicks, who I think are more playoff like based teams. I think they're going to excel more experience. They're going to play better in the playoffs than they have in the regular season, is what I'm trying to say. I think the Bucks, they've lost Bobby Portis for 25 games. Damon Giannis have been in and out with injuries, but come playoff time, if they're fully healthy, I think the Bucks are still a scary threat to anyone to face them.
100%. LeBron James has entered the MVP race at number 5. He is 40 years old.
That's insane.
And he's in the MVP conversations.
Yeah.
Was Michael Jordan in the MVP conversations when he was 40 playing for the Wizards? Was he?
Different eras.
The longevity of this man is insane. And the Lakers have looked really, really good since acquiring Luka Doncic. Shock? Not shocked at all, actually.
Well, it is a shock, kind of, though, because they have no big man. And have still
Luka
been
Doncic
just-
and LeBron James make Jackson Hayes look like prime DeAndre Jordan.
True.
Which is actually insane. Because,
the
look,
lobs.
no
the lobs
offense
that
to
go
Jackson
his way.
Hayes, but look, he wasn't playing the greatest basketball, but since getting that starting role, playing alongside two of the best passers in the league, he looks phenomenal. Well, not phenomenal, but
Yeah.
very serviceable. But
Maybe the Lakers knew that all along, and that's why they didn't go out and try and get another center. Because I thought Mark Williams wouldn't have been enough as it was.
I think it
needed
would
a
have been.
I think they needed a backup though. Like I didn't even view any of their current centers as backups. I think they needed like a Mark Williams with a Steven Adams off the bench. But
Well,
obviously,
they were looking at Steven Adams too, to be fair. But then
Yeah.
they got Mark Williams, but obviously that didn't work out. But maybe for the better, because the Lakers have been just fine without him.
yeah, Lucas looked a little bit out of form though. He's not looked like his Dallas self.
I think he's still adjusting though.
yeah, he is, and
He's
getting
that's
back
a
into
massive
shape.
change.
I've seen lots of things about how he'd really become addicted to the Bears and the what do they call that? The hooker.
Yeah.
The hooker over in Dallas. And I think that's one of the reasons apparently that the management were really upset with him.
Oh, wow.
Just he was abusing it quite a lot, addicted to both, and he showed up like over the weight limit that they'd given him for training camp. And that's why he missed the first few games of the season apparently
Wow.
to get back into shape.
I didn't see that. I didn't see
Yeah.
that. I actually saw a report recently that since the trade, a different demon or something has been unlocked in Luka Doncic or something. So he might be in the weight room.
Yeah.
He might be in the weight room. I mean, he's playing with the GOAT, so I mean, he kind of has to be on a... Do you just agree with me? He's playing
No,
with
he's
the
not
GOAT?
playing with the GOAT.
He kind of has to be in good form. So the Lakers are doing really well. That top five in the West seems to be pretty set in stone. It's going to jump around.
I think the
But
only
from
team,
the 5th seed to the 6th seed, which is, Rockets and Clippers, there's like 5 games within.
I think
so.
the Rockets are the only team in that top 5 that could drop out. They've been looking quite slippery at the moment. On a bit of a
I
slide.
knew it wasn't going to last. But,
Yeah, the Rockets
I mean,
aren't as good as
Van Vliet only just came back from injury. Jabari Smith only just came back from injury. I think Van Vliet was quite a vital piece, although he doesn't score the most points. He's the older guy in the team, holds offense together. So I think him coming back, I think they'll start winning some more games. But I think that top 5 in the West, that's the 5 teams that are going to be there. It's going to jump around quite a bit, but I think those are the 5 teams that will be there going forward.
I just want to mention on the Luka topic. Apparently, the Mavs, they went to the Timberwolves as well first.
Really?
And offered Luka straight up for Anthony Edwards, and the Timberwolves instantly said no. Well, what do you have done in that situation? Are you
First of
trading
all, I
away
didn't see
Anthony
that, and I'm
Edwards?
shocked because I thought they only went to the Lakers.
No.
That's a tricky one, eh?
I think the Timberwolves made the right decision.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Ant fits the Timberwolves mold. I think he's the reason they have had success. Not that is a lot, but
Last year they had a good success.
yeah,
In the regular season.
yeah, good point. And Ant's really good.
Yeah.
He's a great player.
He
He's also young.
Younger than Luka.
Trading young for so trading young for younger, not really sure. So I think probably Timberwolves did make the right decision because I think Ant has the potential to be very good.
Yeah.
So I think Timberwolves made the right decision there.
Let's quickly highlight.
Yeah, I was
our
going
two
to say.
teams
I was
from-
going to say. Did you want to talk about this?
I'll quickly mention this. Well, I say quickly. 10 minutes later. Shaden Sharp. Dunk of the year.
Yeah.
Dunk of the decade.
No.
Dunk of the century.
Okay.
Dunk of human history and whatever other alternate universes there are out there. This is the dunk of all time. Phenomenal. No, okay, I'll chill out a bit on that. But dunk of the
Dunk
year.
of the season, definitely.
Yeah, dunk of the year for sure. This was insane. Julian Champagny, I think it was, on the Wizards, threw a pass which Shaden intercepted and just absolutely posterized him. I can't believe how high that guy can get. And as a Blazers fan, that makes me very, very happy. It was part of his 36 points on the night, his new career high. So and the Blazers were on a 4-game win streak again. So
Damn.
we had that little hot streak of 9 out of 10. And then we went on a bit of a slide, but 4 games in a row again. We've jumped the Spurs. We're right behind the Suns. And I think there's a shot that we could jump into that play-in spot. I think our chances at Cooper Flag are gone now with how abysmal the Wizards and the Hornets and whatnot are playing. So I want us to just go out there and really make an effort to get into the play-in. It would be great. I'm not saying we'd win the play-in, but just to see them there, get a little bit of experience for a young team. That's my hopes. So the 10 seed is on for the Blazers. What's been happening with the Clippers?
Post All-Star break, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Struggling. I think we've got 1 win since the All-Star break. A couple close losses, but for the most part, haven't been playing the best basketball. Norman Powell's been injured. Kawhi's missed a couple games. James Harden has been shooting so inefficiently. And it just looks like our new pieces aren't really gelling yet. I mean, Ben Simmons surprisingly has been okay. Didn't really know what I expected from him. Bogdan Bogdanovic honestly hasn't fully impressed me yet as our bench scorer. Had a few good games, but efficiency-wise hasn't been the greatest. And Terrence Mann hasn't really been doing much on the Hawks, so not really sure how I feel about the trade. But, yeah, I don't know. Onwards and upwards, hopefully. Still 20 games left. As long as we stay out of that play-in tournament, I'm happy. I mean, when Kawhi came back, you said we could be a top 4 team in the Western Conference. I think that's out the window now for sure.
Yeah.
However, I definitely think 6,
5's inside.
maybe 5 if the Rockets continue to slide and we go on a stretch of games. But we're continuing to struggle a little bit. We waived Marjon Beauchamp, who we traded for KPJ, so a bit random there. But
KPJ's been cooking on the Bucks as well, by the way.
He's been so inconsistent though, so I don't really care.
But he's a great defender, a really good defender. Doc
KPJ
Rivers has already said that he's
wow.
one of their best defenders, perimeter defenders.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
The reason we waived Marjon Beauchamp was because we converted second-year player Jordan Miller to a 4-year guaranteed deal.
What?
Bit random.
There's your youth.
He's our youth.
Probably your best young player that you have.
He's like our only young player in our team.
Exactly.
So, but other than that, yeah, Clippers need to turn it around a little bit. I have hope. James Harden's just in a bit of a slump. Zubac has been really good.
Yeah, he has.
I think he is almost slowly. I think he could almost be in that top 10 center in the league.
You know what? I'll give you that.
I think he's almost there. Everyone clowned me for it at the start of the season, but I genuinely think
yeah, he's been good.
I think he's been really good. I think he had 27 and 16 against the Lakers the other day. So
who's your current matchup is against the Lakers? I think if the season were to end today, you'd play the Lakers in the
that
first
would be
round.
an interesting. I don't think that has happened in a very long time.
Would you be optimistic about that one?
I don't know. I think defensively we're very well.
Yeah.
Chris Dunn on Doncic, Kawhi on LeBron, Derek Jones Jr. on Rui Hachimura, whoever. Austin Reeves, maybe. I think it would be a very good series. I don't know if we would win it, though. Just considering they have, realistically, the two... I'd say LeBron he's definitely a top 10 player. I mean, he's top 5 in MVP. They have 2 of the best players in the league.
Probably the best duo in the NBA now. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Nah, it's probably out there. I mean, Dame and Giannis,
Yeah,
to
true.
be fair. But Luka and LeBron is
Look
ridiculous.
at you giving Dame some love.
Well,
I
I'd
love
still
that
say...
for
Yeah,
you,
but...
Finn.
Honestly, yeah, we're on a bit of a slide. I think we would. I don't know how good we would do against the Lakers in a 7-game series, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. We'll be breaking down a lot more NBA once the NBL season's finally wrapped up.
And Cells NBL is not very far.
Exactly. So, yeah. Thanks again for tuning in. See you next week.